We are doing an audio call-in that was listed on the agenda. For those that we wish to dial in for the Street Acceptance Committee meeting, dial number is 872-240-3311 with an access code of 128-687-085. Can I have an acceptance of the agenda?
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Are we a quorum? Okay.
Since we have residents of the Hadley Cove agenda item, you take that first?
That would be fine with me.
Would you like to start the discussion as residents from Hadley Cove and why you were looking for your roadway to be accepted?
Sure, good. Does this work like regular meetings? Do I need to say where I live and all that?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm Jen Gagan, and I'm at 105 Hatherley Road.
I'm Keith Clyde. I'm at 103 Hadley Road.
And there are two other homes on our small private way. And the four homes have put forth the necessary documentation asking if it's possible for us to change from being a private way to a public way. We're primarily looking for maintenance of the asphalted portion of our private way and plowing, sanding, and salting, that type of stuff. We understand that we have a stormwater management system that is part of our homeowners association, which also covers our private way, and we would not expect the town to take on the maintenance and upkeep of that portion of our little neighborhood. Want to add anything?
No, I think that's good.
So we just thought we would ask.
Right. So the residents of the roadway have submitted a petition.
I'll sit here so.
More than 75% of the residents signing the petition. I guess I'll just bring to light some history of the development. It was permitted with a special permit through the planning board as a residential compound. To break that down, the roadway was built to common driveway standard. And to further complicate the roadway does not have a layout. So the access drive to these homes cross over the frontage of other particular lots. There is not a defined roadway layout. So if we do accept this as a public way, a taking of a roadway layout would need to be generated, which would alter the configurations of the lots as designed. So right now,
Wait, you need to say that all again in a way. So there's a driveway.
there's a driveway that services 4 homes.
Okay.
These lots all have frontage on Hadley Road to satisfy the zoning.
Okay.
And the driveway is constructed across several of the lot frontages, not singling out. I'll look for the roadway layout plan.
Are you proposing changing the name at all?
Well, it doesn't have a name. Each house is identified with a Hadley Road address.
Okay.
I guess the residents have considered to call it Hadley Cove, just as a...
I thought we lost the Hadley Cove a long time ago, but...
The cove is just
Either
in there
way.
for our homeowners association.
Okay. The name of the development. Okay. Yep.
You said the driveway, the road/driveway, I guess, goes across several. Is that just the 4 of us, or is there other people that live in the 4 houses?
No, it's the 4 homes on the lot, and there's an access or utility easement that was created where the driveway is.
Okay.
But when you strip out the road and you just look at the shape of the lot was designed to meet zoning, but they're only 20 feet wide at the street.
Okay, thank you.
And typically a road layout is 42.
So to meet, sorry, I'm interrupting. To meet planning and zoning requirements, would you have to then do an easement into the street to make the lots conforming?
You would need to create a subdivision layout roadway and re-subdivide the lots to meet zoning. We
To go
couldn't
back to
create
planning for,
non-conforming.
would planning have to bless that as well?
This is designed as a common driveway.
Right, well, I'm just trying to think, if you wanted it a public way, what would you have to mechanically do?
You'd have to create a layout, one that the town could take
Okay,
through a taking, is what we do when we do accept a roadway for street
Okay.
acceptance. Which would change the configuration of these lots.
right. And then they may or may not be conforming.
And I would assume they would not be.
Okay,
Otherwise, they would have gone in with
right,
a conventional subdivision from the get-go.
okay.
In the approval letter from the planning board, in several sightings within it, they say that the roadway and its maintenance is to remain private in perpetuity. Now, they're more interested in roadway maintenance. And I don't know if there's a provision for us to provide snow plowing services outside of street acceptance, which may be a whole other discussion.
I mean, technically, I would think no.
Right.
Is the roadway, forget all of the lot stuff, is the roadway itself conforming to our requirements?
No, there were reductions in construction requirements at the time it was built.
And you understand why we have those for fire protection and all of that? Like, it has to, I assume it's because usually it's width.
Certain vehicles can get through, emergency services and stuff.
Yeah.
so.
Right.
That's the primary driver.
Which can get down our road. It happens sort of frequently.
Too frequent.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
And
I want to
not
be
turn
hauling people
around.
out to Hathaway.
So I don't know if this is the correct avenue to achieve what they want in terms of street acceptance in order to get snow plowing. And I don't know what direction, but I didn't want to discourage them from discussing these options.
We figured it didn't hurt to ask and just see where we were deficient and why, and if
Yeah.
something could be adjusted or if it was too big of a project.
Does the road have to be wider? Is that, or the driveway, I guess they call it?
The pavement has a 24-foot minimum width. Looking at the design, it's
And ours is
20.
20. Okay.
And that was probably a minimum to meet fire, if I had to guess. So that's what they went with.
Two of the things
Not
are the
thinking,
minimum. When they built it.
right, not thinking down the road.
So the three issues I see, and I'll defer to planning, do you want, are that if we were accepted, the mechanism in which we would be able to do that would make you, in two places, not compliant with your permit from the planning department. Your lots would no longer be in conformance, and it also specifically said that you would remain responsible for that roadway.
Yeah,
Those are
that's
two
a good-
conditions that the development was built on. And the third is, what we would do in just like a normal private way is, does it conform to our standards, and it does not. Is that fair?
Yeah, sum it up.
Patty?
That sums it up.
Okay.
Yeah, that does.
They're lovely homes, by the way. Who was the builder of that development?
Diamond was the land developer, Diamond
Yep.
Developers. Welby Builder built my house, and Marble built the other three.
Yeah, they're all very well versed in our rules and regs.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything that we need to act on or make a decision on, in terms of direction.
Do you think you have enough to understand where we're coming from on what's the problems are for accepting as a public way?
I feel like I understand the issue.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
It's, well, it was given to us differently, I think, 2 years ago. Not from you guys, from the village.
Yeah. But
that's
they say a lot of
different.
things in different ways, don't they?
Yes.
And I didn't have this design plan when you and I
Right,
talked, so
right.
we talked more process. Then once I saw that all of these lots were designed a particular way to meet zoning requirements,
Yeah.
but then altered to meet,
Right.
That's why they can
And if
have
we
a special
change the
permit.
road, then we mess up the zoning, which sort of messes up our special permits and our homes overall, which,
and I can't say without going through the iterations of drawing a subdivision road on here and then meeting zoning, that 4 lot may have gone to 3.
okay,
And hence, that's why the decision was made to go this way.
right,
There just wasn't enough upland area minus what you would need to take away for the road and the cul-de-sac.
got it. Makes sense.
I think it is
Yeah.
always the inclination of whoever's sitting in these seats is to try to do what you can to help residents.
Yeah.
But you got to go through the fact finding, and
Right.
thank you, Sean, for fact finding. Yeah, I wouldn't want to vote
Yes.
because
But at least we know.
Yeah, thanks for doing the research, I appreciate that, because that is time consuming, but at
You're
least we
welcome.
sort of have a definitive answer, and we will move forward, so, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time, appreciate it.
thanks for coming in. Nice to see people.
Nobody comes to your meetings, Karen? No,
We had too many people in the room.
that's right.
I mean,
We have
just
the
the people that
developers.
have to be there.
We have the developers come in, that's it, because we need them there to explain what
Who do
they...
we have on the line this evening?
Yeah, my name is Kim Kwiatkowski, and I live at 19 Hillcrest Road.
And I'm Nancy Petiti, and I live at 12 Hillcrest Road.
Okay, the next agenda item. Hillcrest Road.
Pardon me?
Sorry, I didn't hear you, sorry. Say it again?
No, I was just saying you were next on the agenda anyways. We didn't need to take you out of
Oh,
order.
perfect.
We didn't want to keep you waiting
Perfect.
longer than you needed.
No, that's okay. No, I wish we had known we could have come in, we could have heard you better, but this, I think you can hear us okay, right?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, excellent.
We do have your street acceptance petition signed by the
Yep.
residents of the roadway.
Yep.
And basically, I'll enlighten the members of the committee. This is a gravel roadway constructed up behind the Barker Tavern. Last time I was down there, it still does not connect through. Is that correct?
No, it doesn't.
So-
That's correct, right?
Yeah. There is a layout that connects Barker to, is it Scituate?
Stewart?
I think it's Richfield, isn't it?
Richfield, that's
Yeah.
next?
It looks like, it looks like the other house is Richfield Road.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
We can't actually even see that house.
Yeah, so there is a 35-foot wide layout
Okay?
to define it. And this would begin the process where the Street Acceptance Committee would direct the engineering department, a division of the DPW, to look into the deficiencies of your roadway currently and prepare a cost estimate to bring the roadway up to some minimum standard.
Okay?
And then we would adjourn again with the residents, knowing roughly how much it would cost to make the improvements and roughly how much each homeowner would need to contribute.
Okay.
Which would be performed through a betterment.
Okay.
So you would have the opportunity, I believe, to pay that over a 20-year period.
Okay. Is this Sean that we're speaking to?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself.
Oh, no, that's okay. No, I was just wondering. That sounds right. That's what we were told. With the road, let me ask a crazy question. are we able to pave it ourselves if we decided to?
Yes.
Because it's just ridiculously dusty, and since Amazon came on during the pandemic, I must have 25 trucks turning around in my driveway every single day. So I didn't know if we had the opportunity to do that ourselves.
Yes, you do.
It's a private
Yeah,
way.
you could
Okay, but,
get your
We
neighbors
could.
together and
yeah,
reach out to contractors for cost estimates and make a decision on
Yeah.
that and not involve the town.
okay, and that just makes it remain a private way.
Yes, it would.
And so I'm from Worcester originally, so this is all new to me. So, as a private way, what does that? Why would we ever want to be a private way? That's a good way to say it.
It's a good question.
I didn't even know what a septic system was when I first came here.
Yeah, because the maintenance for the roadway relies on the abutters to maintain. If it's
Okay.
paved, the asphalt's maintained or swept, and if it's, I know there are some gravel roads the residents chip in and they have somebody regrade the road every spring.
Yeah.
And that's sufficient. They're happy with
Okay.
that. Those are some of your options.
Okay. So I was listening intently. We have a 35-foot layout right now. That's okay, but it needs to be 42. Is that what I heard you say earlier?
No, that's the current layout width, and when you
Oh,
say...
I see.
Yeah, and when you say layout, it's hard to conceptualize. The pavement isn't 42 feet wide, but the roadway is. That allows for curbs and grass strips and sidewalks on either side of the street.
Okay.
So typically, the roadway is
Okay.
24 feet wide, but the layout is 42.
Gotcha. So 24 feet wide is the street itself. And if we did that, I would obviously have to talk to everybody on the street, but if we decided to pave it ourselves, do you have oversight so you know they're grading it correctly, or do we just have to make sure that our contractor does the right thing by us?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes,
Because it's
that's
a
the right
private
thing.
way,
Okay.
yeah, we only deal with public property, being
Gotcha.
the Department
Okay.
of Public Works, yeah.
Okay, and I should let you know, when I walked the petition around, I had two people that their addresses aren't Hillcrest Road, but they were abutters, and I thought I should let them know what we were doing. So they're on our list, only it was really because of courtesy. They're just great neighbors. One of their driveways is off of Barker, so other than that, every homeowner on here signed it, but one who's not a resident homeowner. It's a rental, so.
Yeah.
All right, so our next step is to kind of recoup and talk to our neighbors and see what they want to do?
Well, are we making the first step to acceptance right now? Because wouldn't it behoove us to become an accepted road?
There's an extensive process to get there, all the way to town meeting.
Okay.
So,
All right, if we said, yeah, everybody kind of wants to do everybody wants to do that, would the next step be that when the time is right, you guys would come out and take a look at it and give us an idea what it would cost for the town to take it?
we would estimate a construction cost to bring it up to some level of standard.
Okay.
And how would we initiate that? Somebody coming out, DPW coming out
Yeah, well,
to give us an estimate.
yeah, this committee would delegate that effort to the engineering department and the DPW,
Oh, I see.
and we could start there.
Oh,
Would it make sense to make that step right now?
Do you want to add something, Karen?
So that,
Yeah, I have a
at least
question.
it's in the process, we get on the list.
Is that the speaker?
yeah.
Hi, this is-
And also, that would give us an idea of how much it might cost.
Yeah,
for the road
I
to
agree
be
with you,
done.
Nancy. Yeah, I agree with you, Nancy.
This
So-
is Karen Canfield. I had a question. I'm just looking at my map as my phone dies. Are you looking to extend Hillcrest through to Richfield? I know there's like a weird,
No,
no, so
No.
just the existing, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
5,
just the
6, 7
existing.
houses
There
or
were
so?
3 houses here originally, and then 3 got added. We're the ones at the end, so there's 3 new houses at the end. And
Okay.
we're just really just saying that part of it. We're
Okay.
just,
And then my question
Being
to
it
Sean is, if we were to direct engineering to assist in this effort, I would assume like there'd have to be a cul-de-sac or something put in there for turnaround. And who pays for the engineering of
Right.
that?
I was just gonna get to that, because
Yeah.
now we go back down the road of altering lots that currently exist.
Right.
Even though there isn't a road in front of it, we would need to take property to
Right.
make that whole.
Yeah, so you understand, so for us to have a street, you know, just like you found with the Amazon trucks, is it has to be designed such that if a fire engine goes down that street, they can turn around, basically.
Absolutely.
So that's where
Yeah.
it starts
And they
to get
did, when
complicated.
they built, we were the last house to be built, and when they built our house, we had to have the fire department come down, and they physically turned around down here, so you can do that, but it's a lot that grows, you know, it gets overgrown sometimes, but it's there. I mean, we each kind of take care of it a little bit, but it is there. It's not like it has to be cleared.
Who owns that? Do we know? Do you know who owns that
I'm sorry, I didn't
lot?
hear you.
I'm sorry, do you know who owns that lot?
Oh, I think it's the town. I think it's the road. It's the paper road
Oh, okay. Well, those are
Where
the
where
questions.
the road would go through.
Yeah. And then when we bought our property too, same thing. We had a different builder, but they showed us this diagram of there being a turnaround, so that, you know, a truck could turn around just past both of our homes.
Unfortunately, they don't. The Amazon trucks don't use it. They use our driveways.
Yeah.
What do you guys
And
think? I
it's
mean,
everybody
sounds
on the
like-
street, everybody that orders, they all come down to the end of the street and turn around in our driveways.
Well, tell them to shop
Which I wouldn't
local.
mind, except it's a dirt road and it's digging holes. Like I go out and Nancy's husband go out and fill these holes constantly.
Well,
Yeah.
Go to
And the
Friends.
truck's turning around. All right, so I think what we're thinking, Nancy, if you're all right with this, is we say, yeah, let's go ahead and you know, get on the list, so that when you have a chance, you could come out and give us an idea. We'll talk to our neighbors. I'm trying not to give you guys extra work. That's honestly what I'm thinking. But we would likely go and see if we could get like a price if we just paved it ourselves.
Yeah,
Okay.
one of my concerns is there's one thing to have an emergency turnaround, there's another thing to try to get a 10-wheel dump truck with a snowplow on the front of it to turn around, which would drive me to say, we need to make this road go through to Richfield. And have you spoken to any of the residents on that side of Hillcrest?
And to be honest with you, I mean, you can't see it because there's like woods in between us.
Sure.
I thought that house was on Richfield. I don't know where
If there
Hillcrest
are
would
any.
come out over there.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't figure it out. When I look at the
We
plan,
can't
I
see
can't
them.
figure out
Yeah,
where it comes out. It looks like it comes out onto Richfield, but when you look at it, you know, physically in person, you really can't tell where it would come out, because there's a house there and there's a driveway, and you know, so it looks to me like what it would do, it would just, like, the road would just end,
Is that
and
the,
then, you know, and that would be it. It would end, like, at our properties.
Right.
is the house
Or
on,
maybe a little beyond where the trucks, the fire engines would have to turn around.
is that house on Richfield, is that a condominium? Am I thinking the right place?
No, you're in the other
No,
room.
you know what, I'm going to
No.
look them up because I know their last name. I just assumed, which you should never do, right? Never a good idea. That I thought it was on Richfield because their driveway comes out on Richfield. So, and when I first moved here, I used to always, the mailbox would be changed to 48 Richfield Road. I'd be like, I'm not on Richfield. Let me look it up. Let me see if I can help you out. And me.
Okay.
Well, I think, unless I'm wrong,
Well, I
Sean,
think that should be what, you know, what we could accomplish out of this meeting is that we would get on the list of the engineering department to come down and and give us a cost estimate.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, I think you should, I mean, unless I'm wrong, I think if you want to talk with your neighbors, I can probably comfortably say, if you guys wanted to pave the road privately and maintain it privately, that in the near term, it would be less expensive for you and your neighbors. Because if it
No,
becomes a
I'm
town.
sorry, I really couldn't hear, I couldn't understand what you
No,
said, I'm
can you
sorry.
say- Am I wrong? Am I right about that?
They did it themselves. We're also paying prevailing wage.
Yeah, so just, I mean, just for you to chew on, if you're going to be talking to your neighbors, if you guys keep it a private way and you do the improvements that you need not to make yourselves crazy on the street, that, that the option B, town does the engineering, town pays prevailing wage, it'll be way more expensive for us to do it, to make it satisfy what we need. And then that's fine. I mean, you may choose to do that, and then you would pay it as a betterment, just as if you were hooked up to sewer or something. So we don't know what those cost differentials are, but I can tell you for sure, it's gonna cost more for the town to do it. So
Okay.
I think you should have that conversation with your neighbors.
You will.
And then see, I don't want to invest as you say, the engineering staff's time if you all come back and go, you know what, we're cool with just putting asphalt down.
Yeah.
But that's something you guys have to
I
decide.
am. I think we should have that discussion, and then we could, it's still okay for us, though, to create a place where we think this cul-de-sac thing should be. We can still do that, right?
Yeah, so Sean can work with you on that, or somebody from engineering, just to make sure that you're not taking somebody's land that doesn't belong to you.
Right, yeah. We can look into this together after we've all had a little time to digest what's happening out there and whether we can, I can tell you now, we would need to put a cul-de-sac in or put that road
Go through.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're involving people
Okay.
you may not thinking
Yeah.
you were going to involve.
Yeah.
For
Well, I just
one.
looked up that address, and it says 48 Richfield and 29 Hillcrest, so I don't know, to be honest with you. So, all right, Nancy, you cool with that? We'll talk with everybody and see what...
Yeah,
We can
that
always
sounds
call you
good.
back and say, yeah, we want to go, right?
Of course.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Okay. All right,
All
thank
right.
you. Thank
I
you for
can't
your
tell you how
time.
much I appreciate your help. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you. Good
Yeah,
night.
okay,
Take care.
bye-bye. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
The condos on the other end.
Yeah, you know where I'm thinking about that
Yeah,
one?
Yeah, that White House, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, they would not be happy with it going
No.
through.
Is there anybody else on the line? Anybody on the
Hello?
phone? I've heard complaints. No?
I don't know how any of that works. I don't know why I'm looking.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we need to stay live on the phone? Those
Uh,
are the really two discussion agenda items. There were just two.
Technically, if somebody wanted to call in, we should have it
You still
open.
could? Okay.
Yeah, because the meeting's still open.
The next agenda item, Studley Farm Road. I just, the developer has started to submit street acceptance paperwork, as-bills, sign-offs, utility easements, things like that. So I just wanted to bring it to light that it'll be coming up in the near future. I don't know if it'll be complete and everything submitted for a town meeting. But I did want to
November
start the
16th.
discussion. Yeah, Studley Farm Road. in
Was
the
that always
West End.
anticipated to be a public way?
I believe so. It has, I think, a width reduction, but other than that, that is it. And
Oh, yeah.
we've taken some of those in the past for a little bit of pavement width. It is Cape Cod berm, not granite, so if you had to drive up onto the
Oh,
lawn, it's quite possible to do so. There are a couple of outstanding items still with the planning board.
We haven't closed this project
Today.
out yet.
And then Deer Common was hot last fall. And that project, as well as with planning board, with outstanding items and a substantial surety still being held on that project. And they haven't even started the submission process for Deer Common. But another,
How many are those houses in there?
Oh, the last 5 years maybe?
Deer Common, how long have they been there?
No, how many houses are in there?
Oh. 8 or 9? 11? I'll tell you in a second.
Cool.
But we have outstanding surety from them too. We're not closed out.
Cool.
Any other business you'd like to discuss?
It's hot out.
That's for sure.
Oh, awful hot. And no rain.
I have nothing, sir.
Hopefully tomorrow.
All right.
Make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye, aye.
Aye.